Hi, welcome to Messier Mantra. I'm your host, Mike Messier. On this episode, we have a filmmaker, an award-winning filmmaker. His name is Ralph Celestin. Hi, Ralph.
Hey, what's going on?
It's good to have you here today.
Blessed to be here.
And we're going to talk about your movie, Boston to Philly. Mm-hmm. We're going to show the trailer. Anything we should know about the trailer before we check it out?
Just that this is my directorial debut. I'm very excited for everyone to see it and to be prepared to see something different.
Okay, cool. So this is about a 3.5-minute trailer we're going to check out right now.
Yeah, stunning trailer.
Awesome. Let's check it out right here on Messier Mantra, Boston to Philly.
You are the best!
I am the best!
Roll! Roll! Son, come back in.
I lost my family!
He has a godmother in Philadelphia.
They're sending me away!
His only other relative.
And what are you doing about it? Nothing!
We have no choice but to follow protocol. There's no way around it.
Thank you very much.
Bullshit!
Dude, he
said bullshit!
You're saying you're doing a good job. Whole time people out here looking dumb as hell.
I just call bullshit when I see it!
Think about it. All we know, people selling, people robbing. We got family members still in that trap life. We not worrying about the consequences because we too broke. The inability to understand the consequences of one's actions based on financial privilege. It's called affluenza.
What? Man, I don't believe that.
Believe it, it's real.
Treat us how you treat your mom.
I'm going to sleep.
Far from campus, ain't you?
Came to see me.
Say his name. Say his name.
Came to see Jared.
Go home, man.
Philly! So you don't love me anymore?
I love you.
Everywhere that I go, you feel that feeling catch with that real high flow. I'm popular when it goes, cause I be keeping it real, cause I be hanging with the MCs and your little skill.
You don't even ask me if it's okay, I know you do what you want. You don't have to ask me if it's okay, I know you do what you want.
Is there a problem?
I see something I like that takes my breath away. I need to look at it. I need to stare at it. I need to chase it from the train station and learn her name.
That's sweet. That's really sweet.
This is my first year as a professor, and I want you to develop a deeper understanding of your inner self, your connection to others. Maybe you'll discover your passion. I want you to rely on your group as a crutch. I want you to reach to them and to discover and explore ideas and emotions you never could on your own.
I'm a cutter.
Why do you do that?
It's a way for me to feel the pain and be relieved. It's something that I struggle with.
I want you to remember something. A dream that you dream alone is just a dream. But a dream that you dream together, that's reality. Welcome to college.
We're gonna have to help each other if we want to pass this assignment. We're gonna have to be honest with one another, so maybe we can figure out what's going on in here and in here.
Wow.
You guys got your big houses, white picket fence.
I don't have a white picket fence. I don't even know what that is.
I guess this is our home.
Yeah, this can be our home. Play one-on-one.
Are you crazy?
For your heart.
No.
Look at your ball first. You got the umbrella.
I'm not messing up my
Award-winning filmmaker of Boston to Philly, Ralph Celestin is here with me in the studio. Ralph, welcome back.
Yeah, I'll take 2 handshakes, okay.
Now, the thing is, I watched the trailers earlier, and this is you acting in the piece as well, is that right?
Yeah, it is.
See, I didn't catch that the first time.
You know what? I wore so many different hats with this film that I don't often throw out that I was the actor as well.
Right.
Because I directed it, I wrote it, I produced it, I edited it. There were so many different things I did I didn't think to introduce that to you.
Was it difficult to edit, especially your own performances? In the editing room, you've got all this footage and you get to try to choose the best take. And was that especially a difficult process to edit yourself?
It's difficult because I'm so tough on everyone around me and I'm tough on myself.
Right.
So knowing that I couldn't go back and change anything, that was tough. Dealing with the fact that I had to go through these takes and find out which was the best one, knowing that I couldn't go back and do it again. That was difficult to accept, like, oh, I could have done this a little bit better. I picked it apart too much. So that was most difficult.
The hats thing is because while you're editing, then you're also thinking, man, if I had made us shoot one more take, or if I had performed this a little different way, that's pretty incredible that you did all of that on a directorial debut too. You said,
appreciate it. Yeah, it was.
Wow. Where did you? Now the film you told me earlier was 80% filmed in Philadelphia and about 20% in Boston. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Interesting. And you're from the East Coast. And how did you use the same crew for both shoots?
Yeah, we did. So even watching that trailer, it always gives me like this chills because I know the relationships that formed from this movie. The crew started out just the individuals, just filmmakers throughout Philadelphia that kind of came together because of the call that was made to be a part of this film. And then from there, we became best friends and we became a family. Mia Mendez is a sister to me. Jamil, Eric, Shane, John, they're like my brothers. So what we would do is we'd shoot in Philadelphia, and when the time came, we'd travel to either New Jersey or we'll travel to Boston. So wherever we had to go to make sure it got done, we did.
And this movie will be available on major video on-demand outlets, streaming, coming up this year, right?
Absolutely. So Google Play, iTunes. We also got on Amazon Prime. We're waiting to hear back from Hulu. Fingers crossed with that as well. We'll be on Vudu, Fandango. So anywhere you can basically watch a film and stream it, you'll be able to see it.
And the official title for these releases is Boston T.O. Philly, is that right?
Yeah, we changed it up. So it's no longer the number 2 Philly, it's T.O. Philly.
Okay, so when fans look for it, Boston T.O. Philly.
Yep,
okay.
spell it out and it'll be easy to find.
Great.
Yeah.
Have you been a lifelong film aficionado? Have you always loved cinema?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been a lifelong artist, so that's where it starts. And I write, I draw on occasion, and of course I create film. So from as far back as I can remember, I've been an artist. It just kind of transformed and morphed into a more focused field, which turned into film.
What were some of the films when you were a kid that you, or even a teenager, that you really liked? Did anything strike out at you?
Oh, there's a million. I love Casablanca. Titanic is actually one of my favorite movies, even though it's whatever, sentimental value. I mean, you name it. There's so many. There's so many. Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, okay. Like the original, the black and white one. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely one of my favorites. Obviously, you can go with the big names, Gladiator, Braveheart, stuff like that. But to go back into what kind of really got me into it, had to go with Casablanca, Night of the Living Dead, stuff like that.
I remember seeing Gladiator 3 times when it came out.
Same.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, and you owned the DVD package, right?
I think I did.
Disc.
Yeah, right.
My God.
What is Maximus?
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix. What are some as an actor? Was this your first experience with acting? Had you done stage acting? How did you get your acting?
So very briefly. So I was always into the arts.
Right.
So my acting really was always what I did in school plays where I got like a small role because the teacher didn't trust me to take it serious. When I got into high school, I joined this intro to video making course, and I started doing a little bit more acting on in front of the camera. Didn't really like it that much, but I developed a taste for it. So when I wrote Boston to Philly, and I saw the auditions, all the people that wanted to play the character that I played, I realized really there's no one else that's going to do it justice besides me. So I made the choice then that I have to act in this movie. I have to be the lead actor.
And the character's name is Rome?
Yeah, Rome Williams, and the nickname in the film, of course, is called Boston.
Right.
So
then the lead female, is it her nickname or her full name is Philly?
no, it's her nickname. So
Okay.
Mia Mendez, she plays the role of Philly, but her actual name is Carolina. So in the film, obviously, when we first meet each other, we kind of fall in love. She gives me the nickname Boston, and I in turn give her the nickname Philly because she didn't want to give me her real name.
Gotcha.
So
speaking of which, what I'd like to do is show some footage of your leading lady, Mia Mendez as Philly. So we're going to cue that up, and we'll take a look at Mia Mendez character development. I really like these little intros.
Character features,
yeah. Let's check out Mia Mendez right here on Messier Mantra.
Love is amazing. It's awesome. It consumes you and allows us to believe in the unbelievable. But love is also scary. Love can be detrimental to your dreams, to your health. It can leave you vulnerable and dependent, chasing a feeling that may or may not be real. It's different for everyone. Hi, I'm Mia Mendez, and I get to play the role of Philly. So Philly is a really awesome character to play because she's someone who has a lot of baggage. So to delve into that character is really dope. She's been through a lot in her life, and she's rough. When you first, see her, she's really rough. But she's rough because of everything she's been through. So you know how it is when you've been through a lot. You don't want to show that vulnerable side. You don't want to show fear. You want to act like you can handle everything, right? So that's who she is. And she's like that for various reasons that she'll learn. But, one day she comes across Boston, Rome, and he kind of brings out that soft side of her, She makes, he makes her smile, look at life a little differently, and that's a wonderful place for a girl to be. I think she's, we all waiting on that. So get to know Philly. I think you'll enjoy her. I can relate to Philly because, one, I'm from Philly, and she's a really family-oriented girl, and so am I. Especially as a Latina, we're very family-oriented. So I can relate to her in that way. And she's someone who, puts on that exterior because we have to go out in these streets. We have to go out wherever, work, school, all of these things and handle day-to-day life, right? But on her inside, she's a girly girl. I don't know, I'm a girly girl. So we scream independence, but we want somebody that we can lean on, and we want somebody that we can trust. So that's who she is, and I guess ironically, as I'm saying this to you, that's how I am. So hope you'll enjoy it. Boston to Philly is an awesome project, and I'm so happy to be a part of it, and I think that you're really going to enjoy it because it's a coming-of-age drama, so you get to relate to all of these young adults coming together and their journey on life because we're all on the same journey, right? This film is an awesome project because we deal with a lot of social issues, and if you're paying attention today, all over the news, on social media, everyone is really trying to take a stand for something, right? We want to feel proud of the legacy that we're leaving behind for our children because that's what's most important. So please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Boston to Philly because this is the journey of life, and we're really trying to spread a positive message. So do that, and also come visit 22 Gallery because these paintings are beautiful and they will light up your home, and we thank you for your support.
We're back on Messier Mantra with Ralph Celestin, and that was your leading lady.
Yeah, Mia Mendez.
Mia Mendez. She seems like she's got a great career going.
Oh, she does. She actually just moved to Atlanta as well to pursue more of her acting career. She has a couple big projects coming up that obviously I can't make public, but she's skyrocketing after this film. Absolutely.
Well, she just seems like a very warm person, great smile, and a lot of great insights she gave about the project and her character, but also she mentioned social issues, and in the preview, something I wanted to ask you about, one of the characters, I guess a student at the college, has a cutting issue. She reveals that she's a cutter, and so it's kind of interesting that I haven't seen the whole movie, but it seems like a side character or a supporting character has this revelation of self-inflicted cuts, punishment.
Good catch.
Yeah.
Mike, so Boston to Philly in itself is a character ensemble piece. So there's a lot of different characters, not just myself and Mia. Every character had its own unique background and a story arc that goes from the beginning, middle to, of course, the final act. So that character you mentioned, her name is Rai Rai, played by Leah Allison. And you're right, that was one of the issues that she had to deal with. There's a lot of different issues we touch on. But her character, she mentioned that she dealt with the pressure of this, having to deal with the SATs and going into a new college with new friends. She developed this habit of inflicting wounds upon herself to kind of feel an emotional release on the exterior. And so that was something that we wanted to kind of touch on with the film, because I don't think a lot of people know about that.
Right.
And whenever you find something as unique as that, and it's seemingly beautiful. Like it's a dark beauty that I felt as though kind of just had a good expression to it. So I want to put it in the film.
It's very interesting. So is the story, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it these college kids or first year college kids and they're put in a class where the teacher who is speaking gives them an assignment that they have to take on into small groups, and so then your character, the one you just described with the cutting issue, and Mia's character of Philly, are they all kind of put together? Is that how it's?
You got it right there on the money.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a really good job. I'm happy you were able to get that from the trailer. That's good. That's good. We want people to watch the film and be informed of what they're watching. The backbone of the film is in fact the assignment given by Professor Balin, played by Ed Aristone, and who is a Pennsylvania actor. He also had done some time in California as well. But that basically starts the film. So the film shows you what's going on prior to the class. So you find out that my character, Rome, you see the scene with me fighting my coach on top of a rooftop in Boston during the snow blizzard. And from there, you can tell it's bad news. I won't tell you what it is, but you can see it's bad news.
Right.
And then from there, we morph into the world of Philadelphia. What's happening in Philadelphia? Well, Philly, Mia Mendes' character, she's dealing with her own thing that we find out about. And then, of course, there's John Jameson and Shane Witherspoon, who have their own dilemma that they're dealing with, which is that they're in the hood, the perceived hood. Like they're in an area that's crime-ridden, and they're figuring out a way to get out and to survive and pursue their dreams. So there's just so much going on, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in the same classroom, handling the same assignment, and it's destiny that we just kind of form the group together.
It's interesting, when you're in college and you don't know who you're going to get for a roommate or a suite mate or and they put you in these dorms, and it's really interesting that you're kind of a big part of college, I think, is that social structure atmosphere. You're trying to get good grades, you're trying to pass your courses, you're trying to wake up in time for these courses, but at the same time, you've got all these new people in your life that you didn't sign on for. You didn't, and so it's interesting that this movie, Boston to Philly, takes on that vibe of how do you deal with these people.
Absolutely. Well, again, we wanted to target this film to be a coming-of-age drama that showcased becoming an adult.
Right.
Transforming from adolescence to the adult. And I think most people can relate with the fact that it happens in college, because you're no longer a high schooler. Your freshman year of college, a lot of things happen. They tell most women the red zone period, where the first 5 or 6 months you're in college, you're there's a threat of any type of kind of sexual harassment or the risk of that. When you're a guy, they tell you that you're going to deal with a lot of different emotions and dealing with the egos of people around you, especially if you're playing sports.
Right.
So the culture shock that comes into leaving your home, leaving high school and going into college, that's something that not too many people even want to touch on. Because it's difficult. It's a tough story to sell. So with Boston to Philly, I wanted to touch on that. I wanted to show the impact that it has on these characters, and in fact find people out there to relate to it, because they themselves were impacted by the first year in college.
Did you have similar experience in your own life outside of the character?
Oh, absolutely. The characters all deal with things that normal people deal with. It's not a black film, it's not a white film, it's a human film. My character, Rome, he deals with all these different levels of depression because he loses his family in a tragic accident. So I've dealt with loss, so I could relate to that, of course. And I drew from that. I drew those emotions out when I had to act in front of the camera. In terms of the other roles that were played in the story arcs, I knew of people that dealt with that stuff.
Right.
I've been exposed to that. consider myself a pretty cultured guy, so I know of these things. So it just kind of, it worked well.
Did you, when you were writing the script, were you writing the script initially, Ralph, thinking I'm going to film this in a year from now or 2 years from now? Or were you writing it kind of in a vacuum of, I just want to write a script? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Were you thinking in terms of production as you were writing it, or were you thinking just in terms of I'm a writer writing my story at this moment?
Neither, Mike. I wrote it because I had a lot of emotions going on. There was a lot going on, and I just needed to express myself. I needed to just vent on paper. Because you need to understand the space of what was going on at that point in time. I'm leaving Boston, and I'm traveling to Philadelphia. I've only been to the city once before.
Right.
So I'm leaving behind my family, my friends. I'm going to a new city. I don't know anybody. The place I'm going to live is a brand new place. I'm starting a brand new job. And I'm also leaving behind a feature film that I had written for Camp 9 Films.
Right.
So like, there's so many different emotions that were going through my mind at that point in time. I just started writing. And so I'm on the midnight train traveling from Boston to Philadelphia. It's about 3.5, 4 hour train ride. And I start writing, and before I know it, I wrote the entire film in about 4 hours.
Wow.
It was just one of those moments where everything kind of blocks out, and it's just raw emotion.
That's intense.
It's a real story.
And the tranquility of the train sometimes, because the train, I've ridden on trains too, and you can kind of like, you're in this very controlled environment, sort of, but it's moving. You can see stuff whizzing by. And people on train rides, these days at least, tend to give you a lot of space because they don't have, all the seats are usually not filled.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can kind of stretch out a little bit. Was that what it was like, or did you have someone sit next to you?
So it was packed. So I was actually pretty prepared for this. So
right.
I had all my luggage, I had everything ready to go to the new city. So I'd gone there about an hour early just to make sure that I got a window seat.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to leave my city and go into a new city, I want to be able to watch it get smaller and smaller.
Right.
So from there, it was actually pretty packed. I lucked out that no one sat next to me because I had some luggage next to me.
Yeah.
I was
smart.
one of those guys.
The scarecrow.
I took 2 seats. Yeah.
You made the scarecrow of the stuff.
Absolutely, I did. I did. But it was packed. But I agree with you. There is a sense of tranquility that comes with the train, and I think I also, with the steady beat, so the tick, 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 it's it's almost like meditation.
Right.
Just a steady calm that takes over you, and
interesting.
It did for me.
Did you write it longhand, or do you have a computer on you?
No, I had a computer.
Yeah.
I just typed it away.
Gotcha. Interesting. You use a Final Draft or a screenwriting program? Or
I use Celtics, actually.
It works
it's free.
okay? Yeah. Gotcha. Let's check out, there's another issue about the movie that we didn't talk about so much, but there's I guess, flashback characters to the young Rome.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I saw this video. I was pretty impressed by this young actor.
Jabaz Griggs.
And he's doing, you said, a rap video. He's
he was featured on Meek Mill single that he came out with about 4 or 5 months ago. So he's one of the featured actors in that music video. He's doing big things. Like, he's such a star in the making. I can't wait to see him progress.
Well, that only helps you in your movie too.
Of course.
Because if he blows up, so to speak, then you've got him in your film as the young Rome.
I mean, I would think he got that role because of Boston to Philly.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a cycle. It helps each other out.
Well, let's check out this behind-the-scenes featurette featuring the actor playing the young Rome. Let's check it out right here on Messier Mantra.
Hey, I'm Jabez Griggs. I'm 11 years old and I play Young Rome on Boston to Philly. I think Young Rome is a more focused, intense character. This is like his life, his dream. If he wanted to be anything, he would be a basketball player. He loves the ball, he loves to play, and it's not even play to him, it's his practice and his work all the time. Me versus him, I'm more silly, playful, like any other child. My opinion on Young Rome, if someone doesn't say you're doing too much, then you're not doing enough.
Action.
back with Ralph Celestin, talking about Boston to Philly. One thing that came to mind just watching this series of clips, first of all, great young actor.
He's a man.
Yeah. I mean, his quote about if someone doesn't tell you you're doing too much, you're not doing enough, was that it?
Yeah.
That's good. And, you know, one thing I found very interesting was looking at this, I'm like, wow, what were the production, if I could ask ballpark if you want to talk about it, the production of this project, because it looks like you had so many people, so many crew members.
Well, that came with hard work. It also comes down to people having faith in the right person. And, you know, when you're the producer and the director and the writer and the actor and the editor, you know, it all comes down to you. Will they follow you? You know, what kind of leader are you? So everyone that you saw in that video and others, they chose to follow me because they believed in me. And so it was hard work. You know, that didn't just come because I told them to believe in me. I had to prove it with my work ethic and with the story I created. And I was lucky enough that for some scenes, we had a lot of help. And for other scenes, we didn't. It was a skeleton crew that just had, you know, a couple people on top of a roof facing the odds, you know?
Yeah.
So that's where they all came from, though. It just came from this friendships and believing in what I was trying to do.
Was it a volunteer strictly only production, or did you have a budget to pay people day by day? Or?
So our budget was simply, so I went and got a second job to afford to pay for Boston and Philly.
Right.
And I actually ended up getting 2 different jobs because the first job I was flipping towels at a local gym.
Right.
And eventually I couldn't even do that anymore. So I found a better job that paid just a little bit more, better hours, and then from there I was able to complete the film.
That's impressive because here you are, first-time filmmaker, writing, producing, directing, acting, having written the script and everything, and you're working 2 jobs on top of that to finance. Because what people don't realize, as you know, Ralph, is that even a low or no budget movie has a budget because somebody is inevitably buying lunch for everybody, if nothing else.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely. I mean, it's expensive. It gets expensive.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you've got 10 or 12 people showing up to help, whether it's crew, cast, both, there's usually one person who's paying that lunch bill, paying that dinner bill, a light bulb on the camera set, and you know, even if you have a volunteer crew member who's bringing his own lights, well, he wants his bulb replaced.
Absolutely.
So guess who gets to pay for it? You know, and so that's one thing that sometimes folks who want to get involved in filmmaking don't realize, that you took on the tremendous responsibility, burden, whatever you want to call it, but the pure adrenaline rush must have been great when filming this.
Absolutely. What I hold the closest or dearest to me is the connections I made, the friendships that formed, the people I came across. Obviously, the awards I've won. Like it's worth it. Like you can't put a price point. I'm going to Las Vegas and being able to bring back an award for Mia Mendes for Best Actress. Like you can't put a price tag on Ty Birch winning Best Supporting Actor Award at the Haiti Movie Awards. Like these are experiences that I would have paid tons of money for if needed.
Ty plays the coach, and we're going to see a little bit of an interview with him a little bit later.
Yeah.
And so, what were the other awards that the film's won so far?
Well, I won one as well for Best Actor in Las Vegas. We won Best Film at the Haiti Movie Awards. We won Best Music Score at the Philadelphia Awards. Also, I won the Keyborn Emerging Filmmaker Award for the Roxbury International Film Festival.
Nice.
Something that I took, I'm very proud of that.
Roxbury, Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. With Lisa Simmons as a director. That's just the few that kind of jump at me.
That's exciting. Yeah. And when you enter these film contests, you're using Film Freeway or Without a Box or both?
I do both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And for people, sometimes I like to direct questions and answers to people that might be watching the show that want to get involved in the film world. And one thing that comes up, and I've seen, is sometimes people put a lot of trouble making a film together. They make a pretty decent film, but then I'm like, hey, where are you showing this? And then they're not showing it very many places. I'm like, well, do you know about Film Freeway? Or do you know about, these are platforms, websites where people can enter their film into contests.
I think some people, I mean, I don't know really what the facts are behind it. I think there's some people that are afraid of competition. There's a winner and there's a loser when you enter into a film festival.
Right.
And some people can't handle that. Some people aren't, they're not strong enough to deal with constructive criticism, or sometimes this flat out criticism. It's a lot to ask for a filmmaker to have a live Q&A right after someone's watched their film.
Right.
Knowing that some of those people in that crowd are other filmmakers that are going to have their opinion.
That's a great point, because I I hadn't thought about that as you had articulated it, because the fear of, it's funny because a filmmaker puts so much time, money, effort, energy into making a film, and then not want to show it to as many people as possible. It does make you think, is there a fear of criticism or critique, or a fear of being too vulnerable? Well, you've been vulnerable enough to make a movie.
People are really sensitive, and I've come to realize that, because I'm very hard on myself. I love my film Boston and Philly, but even I can watch it and see what I could have done better. With my second film, Seller's Kitchen, I'm the same exact way. I'm even worse. But I'm not sensitive, because I know anyone that gives me any type of feedback, it's helping me at my craft. I love the craft so much that it never affects me, because I don't really believe there's someone out there that's just like evil, just wants to hurt me by telling me, hey, your film sucks. No, I think they want to give me feedback to make myself and the film better. More people should take that. More people should have that philosophy and approach.
See, I didn't even realize that Stella's Kitchen is that. Are you the writer-director of that?
I am, Stella's Kitchen, and the producer.
A friend of mine, I believe Arthur Williams, is he acting in that piece?
He's the lead actor. Well, he's the lead actor.
Yeah,
him and Trisha Messier.
Arthur's a great guy. He took some of my acting classes one-on-one, and he's just tremendous.
His acting is phenomenal.
Great. Well, I'm glad to hear that he's working with you.
Absolutely.
And when will Stella's Kitchen? Has you filmed it yet?
We've been filming.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's another thing I really want to make sure I tell other filmmakers or aspiring filmmakers is, don't be afraid to be patient with your craft.
Right.
You're creating art. Like, you are making something, and once you are finished, you can't go back. Take your time. Boston and Philly took me about a year to complete. Stella's Kitchen has taken me a little bit over a year, and the production value of Stella's Kitchen is a little bit better than Boston and Philly, so it makes sense to take me a little bit longer. Stella's Kitchen is about to be released this summer, and we've been filming since last winter. So it's a little bit over a year and some change that we're about to finally complete the film and release the trailer, and then have the world premiere. That's going to be in Boston, and then Philadelphia, then Miami, and everywhere else.
What's the story of Stella's Kitchen about?
Stella's Kitchen is pretty exciting. So it's another personal story for me. It's a Haitian American film about a Haitian restaurant that opens up in Boston. And it follows the story of Napo, who was played by Arthur Williams. And so he goes through a very traumatic experience in Haiti, which forces him to leave and move to America. Then from there, he wants to fulfill his dream of opening up this restaurant. He finds a student, a rough around the edges student to help with the restaurant. And from there, it shows you the journey they take together.
Who plays the student?
Trisha Messier.
Okay.
She plays the role of Sella. So Stella's Kitchen comes from her, because she's a talent, she's a draw. She's the person that's basically making the food in the kitchen.
So Stella's Kitchen?
Sella.
No T?
No T. Sella.
Sella, got it.
Yeah, S-E-L-L-A Kitchen. Stella's Kitchen.
So you might even have to do a double feature with the first film and the second film, Stella's Kitchen, and for people like myself who haven't been able to see the Boston to Philly in its entirety, you should have a Ralph Day at the multiplex, double header, man.
It'd sell out, I'll tell you that. It'd sell out.
That'd be great. And one thing I want to mention is the gentleman who helped with the email coordination for this interview.
Yes, Andre Bashir.
Yeah, I want to thank Andre for coordinating us.
Yeah, he's handling the publicity for Ralph Celestin Studios. That's my film studios I'm the CEO of.
That's great.
Yeah, so he's been amazing.
Thanks to Andre. And I want to share another video. This will be our last video of your team.
Okay.
And the character actor, coach, guy who plays the coach.
Ty Birch.
Tell me about him before we check out his video.
He is my brother in arms. He is, like me, wore a lot of different hats, helped out with the making of the film. He was the actor. He also, at times, worked the camera. He helped with some of the locations. He is just he's an amazing person. And him and I, we bonded very quickly because he was one of the original actors that came in person to the auditions. And he just knocked it out the park. And after seeing his monologue, I then actually created the character, Coach George, to have even more lines than originally in the script.
I really liked his video we're about to see. He mentioned something about March 30th. Now, obviously, that event has come and gone. Mm-hmm. Was that like a premiere event?
March 30th may have been that may have either been the trailer release or the very first screening of Boston and Philly that was in Philadelphia.
Okay.
I'm not even too sure. There's been so many screenings.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, let's check him out right now. Let's check out Ty as the coach in Boston to Philly.
Hi, my name is Ty Birch, and I play Coach George in Boston to Philly. Coach is a role model to Rome, and Coach has to deliver bad news to Rome that he just lost his parents. Coach is trying to be a father figure to Rome because Coach doesn't have any children of his own. So he kind of sees Rome more as a son, more than just a player with a ball in his hand that can dribble. But growing up in inner city, he doesn't want the streets to take over and suck Rome in. You know, he's going through a rough time, and Coach George is trying to reach out to him and help him to cope with the anxiety of losing his parents and deal with the issues of the rest of his life or what he has to go through. So it's going to be a little uphill battle, a little drama, trying to get to Rome and trying to get him to see that he doesn't have to be angry for the rest of his life. He has to deal with life issues, and because he has a promising basketball career, we have the best team in the city, and we expect Rome to lead us, and Rome doesn't want to pick up a basketball anymore. So Coach George really is trying to lean on him, not only to play basketball, he really wants Rome to grow. He's really connected to Rome, and there it is. Boston to Philly really captures the struggles of how the streets can make or break you. I think I can identify where Coach is trying to reach out to somebody because it's all about helping one another. I grew up in Philly all my life, born and raised, and I've seen how the streets can really pull you in, and I've learned that you do not have to be a product of your environment. I grew up in one of the roughest neighborhoods in Northeast Philadelphia called Frankfurt, and a lot of people I grew up with, and a lot of stories that I hear, people don't like Philly. People don't like Philly because they let their circumstances dictate the outcome of the rest of their lives, and people just continue to get stuck in their situations where there's a lot of people, if you look around, that are doing great things right around our city. There's great food, there's great people. You know, life is what you make it. You don't have to fall subject to crime. I know a lot of my friends left the city because there aren't any acting opportunities, but here we have a film, Boston to Philly, that's really portraying the opportunity that is right here in our hometown. And right now, I'm with a group of people that are about lifting each other up and pulling each other in. It's an amazing experience. I'm happy to be a part of this. We are having an awesome time. We are growing together. We all kind of just met, but it already feels like family, and we want you to be a part of our family. You can follow Boston to Philly on any social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Boston to Philly. That's Boston, the number 2, Philly, all one word, and follow our progress. Come to our event Sunday, March 29th, starting at 7 p.m. You can look on our website, Boston to Philly, invite and buy your tickets early, and bring a friend, and just be a part of this awesome experience as I am.
We're back with Ralph Celestin. Really seems like a great guy to work with, a really guy who had the whole perspective on the project and what it meant to him. And probably a mutual friend of ours, Raja Samaru, was on Messier Mantra once.
Love Raj, yeah.
Raj is a cool guy.
I can't wait to work with him, yeah.
I talked with Raja years ago, and he said, I asked him what type of actors he likes to work with, and he said actors that are ambassadors for the film.
Yeah.
And this type of gentleman, Ty, and your other actors as well, Miss Mendez and everybody, even the young Rome, seem like ambassadors. Like, you had these nice interviews, and they all kind of came through for you and discussed why they liked the movie, working with you, what they thought it could do for the community of Philadelphia and for Boston and people in general. So that's got to feel good as a filmmaker.
It feels good. It feels good as a filmmaker. So what I noticed, and again, it's a blessing, was that when I was leaving Boston and come to Philadelphia, I always started as a writer. And I began my journey as a screenwriter. I took a lot of work, a lot of pride in the scripts I create. And so my first feature film, District C11, I didn't feel as though it really showcased my talent and the type of scripts and characters I like to create.
Right.
And so that had it left like a sour taste in my mouth when it came to making my next film. And so I'm really grateful that I was able to find characters or create characters and find actors that embody them. Like Jabaz, Ty, John, they've said, even me, like they all said that this character, they felt as though it was almost like written specifically for them because they were able to relate to it so well. And that's why I think why they're so poetic in their speech and the way they describe the story in the film is because in some way the role found them and it just meshed really well.
Did you have auditions for your parts?
I did.
What was that process like for you?
That one was heartbreaking at first because I'm an indie guy, so I found this like hole-in-the-wall dungeon basement hall that I had rented out for about 4 hours.
Right.
And so I put a post out on all the different acting websites. Again, I had no real resume, so no one really probably took me serious. So I think we were supposed to see 20 people, myself and another friend of mine, Keith, and only I think 5 showed up. So it was pretty. By the third hour, it was pretty.
Right.
It was pretty depressing.
That day moved slow. Yeah.
I thought for sure this dream of mine wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And I'll never forget this moment. This supermodel walks into the door, or into the doorway, and immediately I'm like, this person must be lost.
Right.
Let me help this woman find her way. And off of the introduction, she introduces herself as Mia Mendez. She's here to audition for Philly, and before I knew it, in more ways than one, she helped me find my way.
Right, and that sounds like a great collaborative effort working with her, and
yeah,
and you've remained friends since the film.
Absolutely,
that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and did you leave room for a sequel to Boston to Philly? Boston to Philly too.
If the price is right, so BET showed a lot of interest in the film when it first came out.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to rule that out.
Right.
I'm not going to rule that out. But there would be a great storyline I've already thought of for the sequel.
Well, the thing is, these days, so many people love, Netflix, what do they call it, binge watching. So
binge watching.
So going from a film, you could do a web series, not a web series, but or a Netflix series or whatever. You could write a series and see where it goes with some of these characters as they get older, and maybe I haven't even seen the movie yet, but as the relationships kind of form and grow and break apart, come back together, because that's what it's really about. I think a lot of people who enjoy especially Netflix shows or television shows love certain characters.
Yeah.
You've got the right actor or the right actress with a character that they relate to or they want to be like or they despise, whatever emotional pull. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and maybe that's something, have you thought about doing some TV writing, or you mostly prefer film?
I prefer large productions, feature film productions. And right now, that's kind of where my film studios is gearing towards.
Right.
And it's also where I've kind of submitted myself for Lionsgate and FX. So, if the call comes, I'll never back down from a challenge.
Right.
There's no reason why if someone wanted me to create that type of content, I'd say no, I'm not going to do that. But for now, I think I'm really focused on utilizing my platform, which is feature films, to give out the message that I want and showcase my convictions and kind of go that realm.
Where's your studio located?
Yeah, so we're based in 2 different locations.
Okay.
So I have a small little office right off of Revere.
Yep.
And obviously, I also do a lot of the editing, and a lot of the other suites that we do is in my apartment right in downtown Boston.
Nice. How do you find living in Boston? As a Rhode Islander, when I travel up there, sometimes it's a bit intimidating with the traffic and trying to park and stuff. But as a resident, do you enjoy it?
Compared to New York, I think it's very enjoyable. It's less chaotic. There's a sense of calm once you get to the Commons. Any city is going to be rambunctious. There's going to be a lot going on. But Boston is my home. I've lived here my whole life. And when I went to Philadelphia, I found a lot of similarities between Boston and Philadelphia, which allowed me to be a little bit more comfortable in Philly. So it's for me, it's second nature at this point.
One thing that Ty mentioned in his interview segment was that some of the folks that live in Philadelphia don't like it, but it's interesting because it's always one of those grass is always greener deals, because not being from Philadelphia, when I've gone there 7 or 8 times in my life, I've always enjoyed it. But it's always been for 1 or 2 days. It's been for like a conference or a wrestling show or a Bob Dylan concert. I've never been there for more than 4 or 5 days at a time.
Well, Mike, it depends where in Philadelphia you're traveling to. Philadelphia is a very large place.
Right.
And also it depends on your experience, what color you are, how much is in your bank account. Cities treat different people different ways, depending on all those aspects. So when Ty mentions a lot of people don't like Philadelphia, I think it comes down to some of the things that Philadelphia needs to fix. All of which we mentioned in the film. For example, Pennsylvania in its entirety has a very small budget for educational funding.
Okay.
That needs to change. So Ty being a father, that's something obviously he wouldn't like about the city and the state. As well as there's other things too. I think that there's a very large gap when it comes to unemployment and those that are employed and the difference of pay. So Philly isn't perfect. Neither is Boston.
Right.
But when you hear someone mention that they don't like Philadelphia, it's probably more so garnered towards that, not as much as, I'm visiting for a couple of days.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The grass is always greener because as an outsider, going there on just a surface level, going to this wrestling show, going to the Rodin Museum, going to the art museum, then it's all exciting and fun. But then I get to leave, and any problems that the city has, I'm not aware of because I've always been there for a surface level visit.
Absolutely.
Which
is why it was so important when I moved to Philadelphia. I didn't want to start from right in the city. I wanted to be out and work my way in. I wanted to get the real culture that is Philadelphia. And which is why in the film, where we shoot everywhere from North Philadelphia to specifically the Badlands. Then from there, I travel to Fishtown. I'm in Northern Liberties. I'm everywhere. I'm in University City. So I made sure to showcase Philadelphia in a way that not too many people have before.
Geno's or Pat's? What's your passion? The steak places.
We shot at Geno's, so I love Geno's. But actually, my favorite is Ishkabibbles.
Which one?
Ishkabibbles.
I'm not familiar with that. It sounds pretty good.
It's a real one. It's on South Street. It's very good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you one of your actors?
Max's is good too.
The funny thing is, I remember going to Geno's and Pat's, and me and my friend went down to Philly, and we had one from each because we wanted to do a taste test.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But these are the steakhouses that are so famous. When we talk about your actors again, Mia, she's in Atlanta, or she's in Georgia?
Newly moved to Atlanta.
Okay, what is she reporting? Has she told you what she thinks of it so far?
Well, she's only been there for about a week.
Oh, okay, so just moved. Okay,
yeah.
so we'll
Mia, when she stepped on the scene, all eyes turned. So I'm sure she'll have a lot of stuff to tell me, after a week or so.
Well, it's just fascinating to me that the East Coast is coming on strong with places like Georgia, and now you in Philadelphia, and Boston's been doing some stuff for a while. But sometimes what I would say to people is it doesn't matter, it's a cliche, but it doesn't matter where you are, it's where you're at. If you, for instance, you made a movie, and a lot of people who, I'm a writer, I'm just an actor, but you took this whole thing upon yourself and said, hey, I want to make a movie that's my vision of these characters in this story, and you did it. So congratulations to you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But it's also an inspiration to those out there who, so many people I talk to, have some inkling that they want to be involved in film or TV or acting or theater, but they'll never write a script. They'll never produce something on their own. They're waiting for the phone to magically ring, and you've proven that obviously you don't have to wait for someone else to call you. You do the calling.
Well, I'm sure and a lot of other people in my position know that a lot of people are all talk.
Right.
They don't want to put in the work ethic, they don't want to put in the work or go out there and make the connections, put themselves in a position where they might need to do an Indiegogo or Kickstarter, or even ask and beg for someone to collaborate. People don't want to do that approach. They rather just kind of either come off snug and don't say that they want to do something or not. I don't know, something like that.
It's because if you don't do it, then you can't be critiqued. It goes back to that fear of failure.
People talk a lot.
Interesting. Now, Cella's Kitchen, you're basically in the middle of filming now.
We're at the end now.
Oh, at the end, okay.
We have 2 more shoot days now. I'm desperately trying to figure out how to get done. But
is it the scheduling? Is it tough with all the actors and crew to schedule?
It's really tough. It's really tough because Taylor Andre, who plays Barbed Wire, she's all over the city.
Right.
So she's impossible to get a hold of. Trisha's a lot going on because she's also a model.
Right.
As well as Jolie, Talina. Arthur is horrible with his phone, so he's impossible to get a hold of as well.
You still love these people, by the way.
Oh, they're my family.
Yeah, right.
They're my film family, so no one's perfect. I obviously am just trying to bring everyone together, but they're so, like Talina, mother of 2 children, she's all over the map.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's impossible to get these people.
What folks don't realize, and maybe they do or they don't, but when you hear these scheduling conflicts, it's not because anyone's trying to blow you off, or I've been in the same situation trying to put together. It's not that anyone's trying to blow off the filmmaker or the project, it's because everyone's got a life that's full of other things, family commitments, whether they've got a spouse or kids or they're somebody's kid, right? And the problem is when you exponentially multiply that, you take your own event calendar, multiply that by 8, 9, 10 people, and then you're asking people to reschedule stuff on their own lives to accommodate the film. And some people will do that, some people won't. And it'll drive you nuts.
It will. It will. Again, it comes down to also there's an element of money. Right. You need to figure out when to have the money and to make sure when you have the money, they're available. So you're right. It's a mess. But somewhere out of the chaos, art is formed.
That's great. Now, have you thought of Cella's Kitchen as another feature? Is that right?
It is. I only do feature films.
Now, I was going to ask you, have you thought of doing shorts, or does it just not interest you? Or?
I think shorts are for chumps, to be honest with you.
I don't chumps?
Chumps, yeah.
Oh, why is that?
Because it's the short. It's easy. Like for the most part, shorts are easy. That's why they're short films. People can do it in 48 hours. There's a 48-hour film festival where you can just go and create a short. Obviously, if you have a big budget, you can make it a lot more grand. But the concept and idea of a short film is for you to learn the ropes to create a large film, or to make a short, easy film to get budget for a feature-length film. So for me, I think I always think it's foolish. The directors that have done like 15 short films was like, well, talk to me when you've done a feature film.
It doesn't interest you at all to take a step back. Yeah.
No, maybe if I was like 18 years old and I was just first starting out, but of course not. I do feature-length films now, so I have a deeper respect for the filmmakers that put in the time and energy and money to creating a feature film. And that by no means mean that a short film isn't in its own way an art form. It is. I just think it's very simple, in my opinion. You saw those character features, a couple more minutes and they constitute as a short film.
Right.
And we did those like that.
It's just the scheduling is so hard with a feature.
It is, but that's the thing. That's why it's amazing. A feature film is hard. Short film is easy. That's why for me, I have more respect for those that create feature films.
All right. Okay. Good. So Cella's will be ready for the summer. You think? Okay. Of 2018. And do you have any plans for the not the distribution, but is there a screening set, or you just wait till the movie's done to announce that?
So right now. So I created Cella's Kitchen for the sole purpose of selling it. So there's some pretty big name film companies that are looking already to purchase it and kind of put it out as their own. So my focus is just completing the film, and then from there, reaching back out to those that are kind of in charge of acquisition and see if they're interested in purchasing it.
Okay, great.
So I'm not even thinking of a screening yet.
Yeah, just live up to that obligation and get this thing going again.
And of course, put Boston. Let people know we're out here and we're doing it.
Is there a project after Cella's Kitchen that you want to discuss at all in the?
No, because there's nothing. It's not real yet.
Yeah.
There's definitely something big I'm working on. Those of you that follow me on Instagram, Ralph A World on Instagram or Facebook, they'll see that I'm starting to do some casting. I'm starting to talk to some people, some bigger name celebrities, but nothing that I want to make public to yet.
Okay.
But follow my journey, and you'll maybe see some hints.
Where can people find you on the Instagram?
Ralph A World.
Okay.
It's all this one word, Ralph A World. So I'm pretty active when it comes to posting and dropping some hints on what's going on, or giving some exclusive behind the scenes footage, including this interview.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Ralph, we've got about 2 minutes left. Now, the show title, Messier Mantra.
Yeah.
Does Ralph Celestin have a mantra, whether it's about your own personal life or making a film? Is there any famous quote, or maybe from your own life or from one of your films?
Sure.
Something that you kind of reflect upon, or something that keeps you going, a little mantra, a little expression, if you would.
I mean, there's so many different quotes that I live by. I think I'm really more big on words. So perseverance, dedication, belief, faith. Things along those would be my mantra.
That could be your mantra right there.
Yeah, all embodied. It's one word that just kind of like gives you everything you need.
It was perseverance, belief, faith, and there was a fourth one in there. But you had some good ones.
It's all together.
I think it might have been dedication, but
Yeah.
man, I'm very excited for your career because it seems like you've got some really great things going here. First with Boston to Philly, next with Cella's Kitchen.
Yeah.
And once again, thanks to your gentleman, Andre
Bashir.
Yeah, with the PR, with the connection there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm very grateful to be here.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming. Is there anything else? We got about half a minute left. Anything you else want to say to the Messier Mantra audience before we wrap it up?
Just make sure you guys check out the film. Again, I'm willing and open to meet with everybody and hear your thoughts. Message me, email me, jump on Boston to Philly on Facebook and let us know your thoughts after you've watched the film. And just follow our journey because it's a film that I think everyone in New England and throughout Rhode Island, New Jersey should watch.
And there's a website too, which
so it's Boston, the number 2 Philly. If you're going to go on the website, if you're just going to go online to watch it, you can just type in Boston to Philly TO, or just follow us on Facebook, Boston to Philly, and everything else.
Ralph Celestin, thank you so much.
There we go.
Thanks for watching award-winning filmmaker Ralph Celestin here on Messier Mantra discussing Boston to Philly. We'll see you next time.